Good morning, everyone. We would like to take this opportunity to officially welcome you back to our channel, your reliable source for Christian-related insights, updates, and thought-provoking conversations. If you have a strong interest in being honest and open with others, you have arrived to the perfect location. This morning, we are going to go into a story that is both stunning and very unsettling. According to the allegations, the Daystar television network, which was established by the late Joni Lamb and his wife, has a history of covering up events. This tale reveals a side of Daystar that few people would guess existed beneath its glossy appearance. It includes allegations of wrongdoing, money embezzlement, and moral failures, among other things. In recent times, the legacy of Marcus and Joni Lamb has been subjected to criticism. Jonathan Lamb and Susie Lamb, the couple's children, have leveled charges that their parents have been covering up serious allegations. According to the claims, the Lambs are accused of manipulating facts in order to clear an individual who was accused of being an abuser inside their family relationship. The terrible picture that is painted by the evidence that has been published online, which includes audio recordings, is one of manipulation, blackmail, and a failure to take responsibility. It is not the first time that Daystar has been accused of concealing misdeeds. In fact, this is not the first time. When Marcus Lamb was accused of cheating on his wife in 2010, the network was rocked by the controversy. Many of you may remember it. It is possible that you are unaware of the fact that the lady who uncovered this affair has lately come forward to reveal the truth about what happened behind the scenes. This truth is a narrative about hush money, dishonesty, and moral compromise. Listen to the astonishing admission that was made. Behind the shiny facade of the Daystar television network lies a web of treachery, deceit, and scandal that has left a great number of individuals reeling. The tale of the Daystar television network is one of inspiration and faith among its employees. The beginning of my adventure as the director of marketing at Daystar was filled with praise and hope, but it ended with a tremendous amount of heartache and anguish. This is my account of how Joni Lamb herself fooled, manipulated, and finally asked me to lie, as well as the catastrophic ramifications that ensued after that. This past June, I became the director of marketing for the Daystar television network, which I joined in June of 2005. Both Marcus Lamb, who is one of the co-founders of Daystar, and Janice Smith, who is the vice president of programming and operations, had interviews with me during the application process. The interviews were exhaustive, and as a devoted Christian, I had a strong interest in ensuring that the organization maintained its moral integrity in its operations. A passage from 1 Thessalonians chapter 512 was included in the employment brochure for Daystar. The passage read, "We beseech you, brethren, to know them which labor among you and are over you in the Lord." When I inquired about Daystar's ethical principles, Marcus and Janice gave me their word that the company was dedicated to the highest Christian ideals, with a particular emphasis on chastity, humility, and purity. Because of these representations, I was sure that Daystar was a location where my professional life and my faith could coexist in a happy manner. On the other hand, I had no idea that Marcus and Janice had been keeping a terrifying secret from me for the past 2 years. As a result of my hard work and dedication at Daystar, I received compliments on my professionalism and contributions. Then, in August of 2007, a worker informed me that they had unearthed emails that revealed a terrible fact. There was a sexual affair going on between Marcus Lamb and Janice Smith that was not authorized. It was found through the emails that the affair had been going on for 7 years. The emails contained explicit communications as well as intentions to use Daystar's resources to organize secret travels. Prior to departing, The employee who discovered the emails shared them with both me and another colleagues in the workplace. It was a sad experience to read those messages. Despite the fact that they had given me assurances that Daystar was committed to Christian values, the two individuals continued to participate in activities that were in direct opposition to those principles. Even in a letter to Janice, Marcus expressed his excitement at the prospect of making her the new Mrs. Marcus Lamb. I was at a loss for what to do, so I sought advice from Fred and Anna Kendall, who are both seasoned marriage counselors and had frequently been on Daystar's flagship program Celebration. According to their recommendation, Marcus ought to resign from his position of leadership and consult with his wife Joni about counseling for their marriage. Nevertheless, the Kendalls chose not to approach Marcus on their own, which means that it is up to us to determine how to handle the problem. In the end, we came to the conclusion that we should inform Bill Trammell, who is Joan's father and a manager at Daystar. Bill gave us his word that he would communicate the material to Joni after he had finished reading the emails. Not long after that, Joni called me to express her gratitude for bringing the affair to light. However, her response resulted in doubts being raised. The email gave the impression that she was already aware of the fact that her spouse had been unfaithful. After learning the information, Joni made it clear that she expected Janice Smith to depart Daystar without delay. In order to hasten her departure, Daystar bought her a house and went into a questionable consulting agreement that paid her huge sums of money, despite the fact that she did not provide any services of comparable value. By utilizing this hush money deal, Daystar was able to maintain Janice's silence while also fabricating a story about her unexpected departure. Joni instructed me to take part in the cover-up whenever there were inquiries regarding Janice's departure from the company. A misleading story was constructed by the leadership of Daystar, and it was required of me to communicate it to both the employees and the general public. The obvious dishonesty and moral hypocrisy became untenable, and I was no longer able to reconcile my faith with the leadership of the Daystar. On May 31, 2008, I took my resignation. The anguish that I experienced did not cease when I left Daystar. The betrayal by leaders that I had admired, as well as the compulsion to lie, left me with profound scars. With the passage of time, the emotional distress grew so intense that it ultimately led to serious depression. My mental state had deteriorated to the point where I was involuntarily committed to a psychiatric institution by the time November 2010 rolled around. During this time, my attorney wrote a letter to John Lynch, Daystar's attorney, in which he informed him that on behalf of myself and two other former workers, we were going to pursue legal action. In a short amount of time, the consequences of this disclosure would be broadcast on national television. A special episode of Celebration was broadcast on Daystar on November 30th, 2010, and it was during this episode that Marcus Lamb acknowledged to having been unfaithful to his wife. There were appearances on the program by the Kendalls as well as other guests who lauded Marcus for his boldness and openness to the public. Nevertheless, the story that was told had a great deal of inaccurate information. Not only did Marcus distort his reaction by falsely declaring that he had stepped aside from preaching for a lengthy period of time, but he also stated that the affair was short while in actuality it lasted for 7 years. The presentation of Janice Smith as innocent was additionally deceptive due to the fact that she was a senior officer who deliberately engaged in the exploitation of Daystar's resources. The manner in which Daystar responded to the issue was something of a lesson in damage control. In order to safeguard the network and maintain their reputations, the leaders of the organization controlled the narrative through manipulation. On the other hand, the truth was much more distressing behind the scenes. The donations that were intended to help a Christian mission were instead utilized to fund covert trips, hush money, and a public relations effort that was dishonest. Critical questions regarding accountability in faith-based organizations have been raised as a result of the incident that occurred at Daystar. What assurances may contributors have that their contributions will be used in a responsible manner? What are some ways that employees might reconcile their beliefs with the duplicity of their administrators? Particularly crucial is the question of how we, as a community, should make better demands of individuals who assert that they are representatives of Christian beliefs. The story of Daystar is not solely about the life of a single individual. In the Christian community, the time has come for increased accountability and transparency between members of the community. When making a donation to a ministry, you have the right to ask questions that are difficult to answer. If you are employed by a religiously motivated organization, you are entitled to leadership that demonstrates the same values that they espouse. Moreover, as followers of Christ, we have a responsibility to hold each other and our leaders to the highest possible level of honesty. This is a rallying cry for all of my contemporaries. Truthful development can be fostered through accountability, whereas blind faith might lead to betrayal. Not only should we keep praying for healing, but we should also insist on being told the truth. If you found this tale to be meaningful, we would appreciate it if you would like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Participate in the discussion by leaving a comment down below. Together, we have the ability to shed light even in the most obscure areas. Until we meet again, may you continue to be blessed and attentive.